Thank you, Mr. Trevor Ludawijk, for the words of introduction. Your Eminences, my dear Lordships, dear fathers, sisters, brothers, and my dear friends. I have the theme number 8, Social Justice in the Mission of the Church. Then this is the outline. I will go through this outline introduction and what Pope Francis has spoken about the social justice, what we find in Synodal document, and social injustice and inequalities, the least of my brothers, that refers to Jesus, and the recommendations. So, in the introduction, social justice in the mission of the Church, we find it is not something new. In 1891, Pope Leo XIII, with his social encyclical Rerum Novarum, expressed the profound concern for social justice. In fact, he talked about the right of laborers to form union. And you know, all these labor unions came up afterwards like mushrooms. And then there are several other popes through social encyclicals have shown their deepest concerns for social justice in the mission of the Church. We also must know that many popes have reiterated what is found in the first social encyclical of the Church, that is Rerum Novarum in Quadragesimus Annus, Octagesimus Annus, Centesimus Annus, all they have reiterated with new spirits the concerns for social justice. And then it is important to see Vatican II document, Gaudium et Spes, further elaborated concern for social justice. And also there is another document, Dignitatis Humanis, in Vatican II document. And these two documents have, in order of the dignity of the human person, and then the development of the common good, and the need for just and equitable society, and like that they have listed in Vatican II and also in Dignitatis Humanae with regard to the freedom. And during the time of St. Pope John Paul II, you have the compendium of the social doctrine of the Church. It was composed, and you will find all the topics under social mission in the Church in this compendium. If you go with any title, you will find in the compendium. And then we'll come to the second point, Pope Francis. Pope Francis has two social encyclicals and another document to support that encyclicals. 10 years ago, exactly 10 years ago, he came out with Laudato Si, which is a social encyclical. And in Laudato Si, in the heart of Pope's reflection, there is a question. What kind of world do we want to leave to those who come after us, to children who are now growing up? And this is a question he asked, and Laudato Si encourages us to, the earth, our common home, is like a sister with whom we share our life, and a beautiful mother who opens her arms to embrace us. Now there are several topics for social justice: pollution and climate change, depletion of the natural resources, loss of biodiversity, breakdown of the human environment from communities, global inequalities, and weak response. And then we come to the other social doctrine on Fratelli Tutti and social friendship, and he spoke about the need for the universal fraternity. And you can see, I will not explain much, but he has taken the Good Samaritan's story from the Gospel, and he said, it is not the question that who is my neighbor. We have to ask the question, to whom am I neighbor? Not the who is my neighbor, to whom am I neighbor? And then we come to the Next document, Laudato Deum. After 8 years of Laudato Si, he has seen the weak responses on the part of the individuals, institutions, society, communities, and especially on the part of the governments. So he came out of with this document, Laudato Deum. He spoke about the weak responses, and we need to reiterate in our own responses. Now we'll come to the next point, synodal document. The final synodal document on the Synod of Synodality has identified social justice as an integral part of the mission of the Church. And synodality emphasizes the need to listen and reach out, especially to many areas. Very briefly, I highlight the areas that the synodal document need to reach out to, and it addresses the specific social justice issues such as migration, minority issues, human trafficking, of the modern human trafficking forms, many challenges faced by the youth, environmental and ecological degradation, situation of those who are poor and vulnerable, those who are largely disregarded and marginalized, even rejected in a world which concentrates power in the hands of a few. And then those affected by disregarding the beauty of the integrity of our earthly home, causing several inequalities, discrimination, and violation of the dignity of others, and the victims due to selfish rejection of the value of life, and a terrifying arms race leading to war, destruction, and to the properties, destruction of properties. And then we come to the next, the injustice and inequalities. The documents also identify certain social inequalities resulting from social injustice. And these are the inequalities that it has identified between men and women, racial prejudices, caste divisions, discrimination against people with disabilities, those who are in special needs, violation of rights of minorities of all kind, and the reluctance to accept migration and refugees. The most radical and dramatic rejection is that of human life itself. This leads to the discarding of the unborn as well as of the elderly. I want to make a point here that Sri Lanka has started the sperm bank, which will lead to many immoral issues, and I can list what it will lead to, but it's because of the time I will not talk about it. Second, the attempt to legalize the right for women to decide on the fatal fetuses, and the science and technology is supposed to do the therapeutic concerns to build up and heal those fetuses instead of to decide whether to eliminate. So these issues we are going to face if they are coming to the legal terms. And then we have the last word. Before I come to the recommendation, I will not explain much on this. Jesus Christ in the last judgment in Matthew 25, whatever you do to the least of my brothers, you do it to me. Now, in National Pastoral Convention in 1995, this has been stressed with Jesus, compassionate Jesus, and compassion in seeing Jesus in others. So we have to see Jesus in others. That has been elaborated. Now I will come lastly to the question for evaluation. We have posed this question: do lay people have enough knowledge about the social teaching of the Catholic Church based on the teaching of Jesus Christ? 134 yes, and 257 no, which means 66% no, and 34%, if you take the percentage, yes. Almost one third they know and two-thirds they do not know. Now we will come to the recommendations. The first recommendation, that the church listen with special attention and sensitivity to the voice of victims and survivors of sexual, spiritual, economic, and conscience-based abuse by members of the clergy or persons linked to the church. Recommendation 2, that the local church broaden its base of structures, listening to absorb more voices and share its leadership role with more people, especially the laity. Recommendation 3, that the church develop structures able to discern the will of God on all types of evils visible in society and take appropriate steps to raise its voice and defend the rights and dignity of all those groups of people affected by such social evils. Number 4, that the church takes steps to catechize and educate its flock on their Christian duties of support and solidarity towards those affected by injustice, exploitation, and violation. Recommendation number 5, that the diocesan church discern in the light of its faith, always light of its faith, ways and means to assist all those affected by poverty, lack of proper education, and the means of self-sustenance. Number 6, every efforts should be made to enhance social awareness among the faithful to strengthen their commitment towards love and charity. Recommendation number 7, the modern means of social communication must be utilized to enhance such social awareness. Number 8, to establish, monitor, and strengthen parish-based social development committees to make the church more active in witnessing to Christ's love, even in a material sense, at the grassroots. Recommendation number 9, obtain women's and youth participation in the above program. That means parish-based groups, what we have seen in number 8, in a way that enhances their dignity and co-responsibility. And number 10, identify areas of special concerns, like the people living in slum areas, those in fishing villages, those who engage in farming as workers, those living in the broader areas of the marshes and other such special categories, and organize programs to assist them. These are the 10 recommendations has come, and thank you for patiently listening to me.